The rain in Blackwood Forest wasn't a gentle weeping. It was a hammering, insistent assault. It plastered the ancient pines with a thick, suffocating film, blurring the already impenetrable gloom. Ranger Elias Thorne hated Blackwood. Locals whispered of it with a reverence bordering on terror. Tales of lost souls and things that shouldn't be. He dismissed them as folklore, until the reports started trickling in. 3 hikers vanished without a trace. The first was a seasoned climber, Daniel Hayes. A week into his solo trek, his GPS went dark, his emergency beacon silent. Search and rescue had combed the area, finding nothing but a discarded water bottle and a single, perfectly formed crow feather. Then came Sarah Jenkins, a keen ornithologist, documenting the forest's avian life. Her last transmission was a panicked, garbled message about eyes watching her from the trees. Finally, Mark Olson, a history enthusiast tracking the remains of an old logging camp. He hadn't left a trace, not a footprint, not a scrap of clothing. Elias, a man built for resilience and logic, found himself increasingly uneasy. The forest held a stillness that felt actively hostile. A silence broken only by the drumming rain and the unnerving sensation of being observed. He was leading a small team. A young, eager lieutenant, Ben Carter, and a grizzled veteran, Sergeant Miller.
When they reached the clearing where Mark Olson had been last seen,
the air here was colder, heavier. The rain seemed to dissipate around them, leaving a patch of unnatural dryness on the mossy ground. In the center of the clearing stood a massive oak azalea, 300 years old. Its branches twisted like skeletal arms, and its trunk was scarred with what looked like claw marks. Deep, ragged gouges that seemed too deliberate to be natural. "Something's wrong here," Ben whispered, his face pale. "This isn't just a random accident." Sergeant Miller, a man who'd seen his share of horrors, simply grunted. "Just keep your eyes peeled, son." As they moved deeper into the forest, the unsettling feeling intensified. The trees seemed to lean in, their branches forming a claustrophobic canopy. Strange shapes flickered in their peripheral vision. A glimpse of movement behind a tree, a shadow that shifted and reformed as they watched. The air grew thick with a cloying, sickly sweet scent, like rotting flowers and something metallic. Then they found it. A single child's shoe, caked in mud and stained with a dark, viscous substance. The brand was unfamiliar, expensive. A detail that sent a shiver down Ilias's spine. Near it, etched into the base of a tree, was a drawing, a crude depiction of a humanoid figure, impossibly thin, with elongated limbs and a face devoid of features, save for 2 unsettlingly large, black eyes. Beneath the drawing, scrawled in what appeared to be dried blood, was a single word. "Listen," Ben, visibly shaken, suggested they leave. "This is beyond anything we can handle. We need to report this. Call in specialists." Elias, stubbornly clinging to his authority, refused.
"We're not walking away from a potential crime scene. We need to find something, anything."
That's when they heard it. A low, rhythmic humming emanating from the depths of the forest. It wasn't mechanical. It felt organic, like the breath of something ancient and profoundly wrong. As they followed the sound, they began to see things. Fleeting glimpses of figures moving through the trees, always just out of sight. The humming grew louder, and the trees seemed to sway in time with it. They stumbled upon a small clearing dominated by a ring of standing stones, each covered in the same unsettling drawing. The humanoid figure with the oversized eyes. In the center of the circle, they found a collection of objects. A child's teddy bear, a tarnished silver locket, and a small wooden flute. The flute was emitting the humming sound. Suddenly, Ben screamed.
He pointed to the trees.
Standing amongst the branches, perfectly still, were figures. Dozens of them. They were impossibly tall, gaunt, and utterly silent. Their faces were obscured by shadows, but Elias felt their eyes on him, cold and judging. The air thickened with the sickly sweet scent, and the humming intensified to a deafening drone. He realized, with a horrifying clarity, that these weren't simply missing hikers. They had become part of the forest, absorbed into its dark, malevolent heart. The forest wasn't just haunted, it consumed.
Sergeant Miller, without a word, pulled out his service rifle and fired.
The bullets ripped through the trees, but the figures didn't fall. They simply shifted, melting back into the shadows. As the last shot echoed through the forest, Elias saw, with sickening certainty, that the drawings on the trees were spreading, creeping across the bark, transforming into the same terrifying figure. Elias and Sergeant Miller fled, the humming pursuing them, the forest closing in. They didn't know where they were going, only that they had to escape. Ben was gone. Days later, a search team found the remnants of their team. A battered radio, a discarded map, and a single perfectly formed crow feather.
The rain in Blackwood Forest continued to hammer down, washing away any trace of their presence.
And the forest waited, silent and watchful, its ancient heart beating with the rhythm of loss and the promise of another unsuspecting soul. The drawings on the trees continued to spread, a silent testament to the forest's insatiable hunger and the unsettling whisper, "Listen."